And now, on to the actual study. In the fall of 2007, I decided that I would start taking vitamin D, and to really test the theory, I would do all the things that I should never ever do as a depressive person. So, I went out and I did my research. What's a good source of vitamin D that I can take as a pill? And of all the ones that I've tried, this one seems to be the best. It's about 71 pills, about 70% of your daily value, or 270 international units. I took some of the hard vitamin D pills, but they didn't seem to have any effect whatsoever. So I took these in doses significantly higher than the daily recommended allowance, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 or 1,500 IU. And for a while, it worked. It worked pretty good, actually. I was very motivated and not tired, and my sleep cycle got a little shorter. And it worked. And then it got a little darker, and so I upped the dosage, and it didn't really continue to work. It slowly, as the days got darker, it slowly had less and less of an effect. So I realized that there's only so much vitamin D one can ingest during the day that will actually make it to your bloodstream. So I looked for another source of vitamin D. And the other major source of vitamin D is the sun. And since the sun is going away in the winter, the only other source of vitamin D is UV light from tanning salons. So I said, hey, I'm going to go to a tanning salon. So I went to a tanning salon, and I did doses of approximately 6 to 7 minutes. And I did them maybe 2 or 3 times a week throughout the winter. And an interesting side note, was that the high levels of vitamin D that I was taking seemed to simulate a lot of the symptoms and side effects that I got initially with Prozac. I actually had a little bit of handshake and some other things, which I cannot explain, but I thought it was very interesting. The other part of the story is that I could definitely feel when it was time to go back to the tanning salon. There was a definite run-down feeling maybe 3 or 4 days after I had last previously gotten my dosage. So I actually started to go when I started feeling it instead of on specific times. Sometime in January, I decided that I had beaten the winter, that I was successful testing upon myself, and that this needed further testing with other people. So I gathered up anybody that I could find that was also depressive and applied the same things that I learned from myself to them. And generally the results have been very positive, although I will stress that they are anecdotal and they were aware of the theory when they were given it. So, placebo, lots of other varied effects could be contributing here. It's anecdotal, and it is not scientific worthy data. But it's the best I could do at the time. Generally, what I recommend is you go buy yourself a bottle of cod liver oil pills, and there's a couple brands, but generally you want to look for liquid cod liver oil because the hard stuff doesn't work. And you want at least 70%, or somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 to 300 international units per dose. I start everybody off with about 1,000 units a day, which is roughly 2 in the morning, 2 at night, well under the overdose levels, and well within the safety levels. Many studies have been conducted with much higher vitamin D quantities that had very little side effects. And then I say, if you have gathered any sort of bonus from these, move on to the tanning salon. I recommend just the regular tanning beds. You don't need to go in any of the high pressure units or anything like that. Remember, you're not trying to get dark. Part of my theory is that getting dark is a response to overdose, essentially, of UV light. You want to get UV light, so no sunblock, cheating of any kind. Well, that concludes the video. You probably found it boring and pointless if you don't know anybody that has depression. And if you are depressed or know someone that has depression, you probably found it fascinating and interesting, I hope. Here's my contact information. I'm starting a website soon that should have a little database so that we can collect more and more information from more and more people and figure out whether or not this is actually the path to happiness, as it were. Anybody contact me, and I will do my best to respond. I want to help as many people as I can. I feel like because I've been given the gift of figuring myself out that I have a lot of debt to repay to the rest of the world. So let's figure out whether or not this is the real deal. Thanks for watching.